My name is Daniel Uba, Head of Compliance Flowlease. In this video, I'll be explaining the common mistakes organizations have made when appointing a data protection officer. The Nigeria Data Protection Act makes it mandatory for organizations to designate a staff as the data protection officer. However, from research conducted, staff nominated from IT, legal, and compliance make better data protection officer. And it's also good to emphasize that appointing one data protection officer may not be the best practice. The employee nominated might be on leave when you have a cyber attack or a data breach. That can create a vacuum. So the best practice is to look at your organization organogram, allow every department nominate someone to fit into that data protection team. So an organization that has like 10 to 15 departments, you have 10 to 15 people forming the data protection team. So you have a staff from IT, you have a staff from legal, you have a staff from compliance, you have a staff from customer care. All these people come together and advise management on the best practices management should adopt and implement. So when a staff is not on seat, the organization keeps with the data protection requirement. And this data protection officer role can be rotated to have healthy competition. A typical instance could be if IT have been handling data protection, move it to legal. Legal department will want to outshine IT and will put in their best. Because of that healthy competition, everybody will want to bring something to the table to make sure the organization remains compliant. So this is something every organization should try to implement to ensure the data they collect from their customers and employees remains secured and safe. Thank you.
Nigeria Limited. On behalf of the organizers and NDPC, I present this to you. Congratulations.
I am so excited about this award given to us by the Nigeria Data Protection Commission.
Out of 160 data protection compliance organizations in Nigeria, the Commission have awarded us as the best. Then, what's stopping you from engaging us? Come on, let me get back to work. Welcome to Flowlease.
We have been awarded as the best DPCO in Nigeria. It's an honor and it shows the commitment of the team in-house. As data protection consultants, we work with clients from diverse industries, from agriculture to banking, fintech, ministries, department and agency, educational institutions, aviation company, hospitality industry. We have our footprint. Our client base is over 1,000 at present. I'm so excited to be part of Flowlease. We've been working with diverse companies, helping them mitigate cybersecurity risk. Majority of the services we provide have shown to help mitigate data breaches, one of which is data protection training and capacity building. We empower organizations with top-notch learning curriculum to mitigate risk. We also help organizations draft privacy policies and procedures that will help them handle data in a confidential way. We also help in addressing data privacy gaps. At Flowlease, we value data protection. Visit our website to learn more about our tailored data protection consulting services. Follow all our social media handles to stay updated on current news as regards data protection. Once again, I appreciate every client who believes in Flowlease to meet their data protection needs. Thank you and be data protection conscious.
Breach resulted in the unintended digital age. Protecting sensitive data is more critical than ever before. But what happens when data breaches occur? The Data Breach Register serves as a centralized database where organizations are required to report incidents involving the unauthorized access, disclosure, or loss of personal information. Why organizations need a data breach register? Mandatory reporting. Organizations must promptly notify the Nigeria Data Protection Commission and affected individuals in the event of a data breach. This ensures swift action to mitigate risks and safeguard personal information. Detailed records. The register maintains detailed records of reported breaches, including the nature of the incident, the type of data compromised, and the remedial actions taken by the organization. Compliance and enforcement. Non-compliance with data breach reporting requirements can result in significant penalties and reputation damage for organizations. The register helps enforce regulatory standards and promotes a culture of data protection. Here is a step-by-step guide on how to use the Data Breach Documentation Register. About the organization. Fill the name of the organization. Fill the registration number issued by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Fill the location where the organization is physically situated or conducts its operations. Fill the official email address of the organization. From the list below, pick the most appropriate based on the nature of your core business activity. Data Protection Officer. Fill the name of the designated Data Protection Officer. Fill the email address of the Data Protection Officer. Fill the phone number of the Data Protection Officer. Fill the Data Protection Officer's acquired data protection privacy certifications. Details of data breach. A unique number that indicates where in the register a data breach is reported and documented. A unique identification number or code assigned to each documented data breach. Specify the exact date and time the data breach occurred if known. Specify the exact date and time the data breach was discovered. Provide the number of data subjects affected. If the number is not known, give an approximate number. Description of breach. Explain the process by which a security breach resulted in the unintentional or deliberate loss, alteration, disclosure, or access to personal data. Measures taken or to be taken. Did you inform all individuals affected? Indicate yes or no. List other regulators informed. When did you first notify the NDPC of the data breach? If yes, indicate the date and time. Remedial action. Kindly state the remedial action taken. To place an order, kindly visit dataprotectionacademy.com NGSOR or call 0816 82444.
Good afternoon and welcome to Module 11 of our CISO's training. Today we'll be talking migrating core banking applications, lessons learned from Tier 1 banks. You will agree with me that in recent times, many Tier 1 banks have migrated their core banking applications for several reasons. One could be because of security, two could be because of cost. However, this module will give us an insight of lessons we've learned and how financial institutions can use that experience to better equip their IT team so that when you intend to migrate your core banking application, you won't have issues that will result to downtime. So migrating a core banking application is a complex process, and it's something that will involve large amount of data being transferred from an old system to a new system. So security should be one of the things that you should look into if you intend to migrate core banking application. Also, the performance and reliability of the application. However, due to the exchange rate currently, many banks have moved because of cost. So cost is key because you need to be profitable, but you also need to look at the security of these new applications you are going to be using. So now, before you decide to migrate your core banking application, there's something you need to understand. Migration should entail that your system will be scalable, it will have more security, and it will be flexible in terms of product and services that will be integrated on such platform. So, based on the experience we've had and lessons we've learned from the tier one banks, whenever you want to migrate your application, you have to look at the technology that best supports scalability, that also gives you more security, so that whether you are running hybrid and features, you would always have security as something that is essential. So don't just migrate because of cost. You need to look at other key factors. Now, when you decide to migrate, prior to that, make sure you've done pilot test of this new application using selected customer group. Also, use some branches as pilot testing models so that as you learn from the experience, you can begin to increase the scope of the update so that the downtime and issues people will face will be minimized. You can also perform stress tests and load testing to see if this new system can handle peak load when you have large people transacting at the same time, because you don't want issues like failed transactions or double debit or accounts that are not well balanced. So you have to do what is called pilot testing. Let some branches be used as that pilot test. Let some customers, especially your um, business customers, let them also have access to the platform before the end users, so that whatever lessons you learn from these people, you can integrate it into the full migration process. If not, you'll have a lot of downtime. And you agree with me, some of these mistakes were done by the tier one banks, and people really had to go through stress and trying to transact. Next on the list is you have to factor in customer experience. Now, if you are going to migrate your core banking application, you must provide alternate channels for business activity to be performed. You can select some branches as areas that people can go and perform physical transaction so that people will not have that issue of I can't transact, I can't access my mobile app, the website is down. So you can have alternate channels. Good. You also need to provide people with updates through SMS, through emails, through app notification on how the migration is going. If there are any issues that you did not envisage, you also update people, because fraudsters can also use this as an avenue to begin to ask people to send in OTP, their password, and other confidential data. So, you on your own, as the financial institution that is trying to embark on this migration, you have to be pushing out a lot of information. You can also make use of social media because a whole lot of people get their information through social media. Then, if you have downtime, you have to let the customers know on time so that if they want to move out money when the application is still okay, they can do that. You understand? So, if you envisage that you'll be a downtime and you're having a downtime, inform customers so that people are more aware of what is obtainable. Is very key so that it's not when the customer receive a phishing email that says click on this link to update your account that the customer will do that. But if you inform them, at least they will have pre-information. Now, looking at the security, first, you must make sure that during migration, two-factor authentication by default is activated for all customers, because during your migration you never can trust your technology, so you must make sure there's also options for multi-factor, especially for high profile customers. Then you can also restrict access to transaction based on the customer known geographic location, because people can also move money from outside Nigeria. So you have to reduce the risk by making sure that only predefined geographical locations that this customer has been transacting from transactions can occur during your migration phase. Because during migration, sometimes technology may be reduced to ensure that there's a compatibility. Now, you can also ensure that there's a threshold for high value transactions so that if at all a transaction is to be performed that is going to exceed the threshold, the customer gives you some form of authentication and maintain a log of all transactions during the migration process so that if there's any discrepancy, you can easily use your audit trail to get that exact picture of what went wrong with that transaction. So security is very key during core banking application migration. So now let's look at data integrity. Now, when you are migrating, there's always tendency of data being compromised. Now, you must make sure that you do a data integrity check pre-migration and post-migration so that it's not a case of somebody will receive a debit or a credit that is not supposed to be. So you must also make sure that there's a reconciliation process to ensure data consistency. And detailed log of all migration activities have to be kept minimum of 2 years, because customers may come back and say, I have this transaction, I did it, and it was during that migration period. If you don't keep all these audit trails and all this audit log intact, you may have issues reconciling your account. So these are the top 5 things you need to know from the CISO perspective. However, as customers, there are still things you need to know doing core banking uh, application migration. One is, as a customer, you must avoid large transactions. When a bank or a financial institution is carrying out core banking application, minimize the transactions that will be very high, just minimum. And also make sure that you take a screenshot of your account before the migration process. So even if there's a discrepancy, before you go to the bank, you can be able to know that, okay, I have an evidence that before the migration, this was my account balance. After the migration, I didn't understand what happened, because these things occur. So you as a customer, you must also keep a screenshot of your account prior to the migration. Again, you must ensure that you don't click on any email that is supposed to be coming from the bank that has a link. Avoid it, because no bank will ask you for your password, your OTP, or your sensitive data. So any link during the migration process, you have to be very vigilant. Just avoid clicking on any link, especially when it comes to your emails, text messages, or WhatsApp. Don't click on any link. It could be a phishing email, and that will put you at risk. Also, you should have alternative financial transaction channels. You could use a fintech app, or you could withdraw cash prior to the process so that you don't become a cash trap. So you must have alternative ways of carrying out financial transactions, and don't use public Wi-Fi, because that could also put you at risk. Because when a bank application is going through a migration process, sometimes they reduce the security so that the new application can be compatible. Though they do this during odd hours, however, you never can tell when you'll be at risk. So you need to avoid that. So now let's go to the quiz aspect to see some of those things that we've talked about, how effective we've learned about some of these key things. So, what is the primary goal of core banking application migration? You can drop your answer on the comment section. What is the primary goal of core banking application migration? So, you can drop your answer on the comment section. Okay, for time's sake, I'll just go through it. Now, the most important thing when you are doing core banking application migration is to improve the system performance so that there's scalability and security is very important. When you are migrating an application, it should be for improved products, improved services, and security. Those are the core reasons why you should migrate your core banking application. Now, the next question is, which of the following is a critical step before initiating core banking application migration? Which of the following is a critical step before initiating core banking application migration? So you have option A, B, C, or D. Okay. So the answer is A. You need to conduct a thorough risk assessment. So before you do your migration, you have to look at the envisaged risk so that you don't put your customers at risk. It's very key. You have to put the customer first when it comes to core banking application. You also need to look at your business needs so that it's in line. Now, the next question is, doing migration, why is it important to encrypt data in transit? You know, data could be at rest, it could be in transit, but now we're asking, doing migration, why is it important to encrypt data in transit? Okay, the most appropriate answer is to prevent unauthorized access or interception. That's the most appropriate answer. So the next question is, which of the following best describes data reconciliation in migration? Which of the following best describes data reconciliation in migration? Okay, let's see. So, comparing the source and target data for consistency. So, you must compare both the source data and the target data so that there's consistency. It's very important. So, with that being said, we've come to the end of the course, and I appreciate everyone who has followed us from Module 1 up till now. Don't forget that you need to take your exams to prove that yes, you've been able to go through this course, and your exams will be done online. You can use any mobile device or any laptop to perform that task. You will get a mail on the exam instruction, and also on the WhatsApp group. We are going to also put the instruction on how to take your exams. Your exams will be free, you're not paying any money for it. But after taking your exam, if you wish to get your digital certificate, you may be asked to pay a token. Yes, so that your digital certificate can be processed on your behalf with your name and every other relevant information. So I will encourage people to join the WhatsApp group so you could gain access to resources related to the cybersecurity framework as issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The WhatsApp group will remain active. The course will also continue next year and with more interesting topic. And for those who just joined us, the past module materials will also be shared via email and the WhatsApp group. So thank you everyone for being resilient when it comes to learning about cybersecurity. We need more people to be knowledgeable about cybersecurity so that we can reduce the cyber threat we face on a day-to-day basis. But before we go, we'll play a video so that you can learn more about Flowlist. Flowlist is powering this cybersecurity training, and we also have a sponsor, Data Protection Academy, who have sponsored almost all our programs. So I encourage you to keep following us on our social media handles to get informed data about cybersecurity and data protection. So thank you and stay cybersecurity conscious.
This award titled Best Performing Data Protection Compliance Organization DPCO in Nigeria to a very interesting organization, Flourish Nigeria Limited. On behalf of the organizers and NDPC, I present this to you. Congratulations.
I am so excited about this award given to us by the Nigeria Data Protection Commission.
Out of 160 data protection compliance organizations in Nigeria, the commission have awarded us as the best. Then, what's stopping you from engaging us? Come on. Let me get back to work. Welcome to Follow This.
We have been awarded as the best DPCO in Nigeria. It's an honor and it shows the commitment of the team in-house. As data protection consultants, we work with clients from diverse industries, from agriculture to banking, fintech, ministries, department and agency, educational institutions, aviation companies, hospitality industry. We have our footprint. Our client base is over 1,000 at present. I'm so excited to be part of Flowless. We've been working with diverse companies, helping them mitigate cybersecurity risk. Majority of the services we provide have shown to help mitigate data breaches, one of which is data protection training and capacity building. We empower organizations with top-notch learning curriculum to mitigate risk. We also help organizations draft privacy policies and procedures that will help them handle data in a confidential way. We also help in addressing data privacy gaps. At Flowless, we value data protection. Visit our website to learn more about our tailored data protection consulting services. Follow all our social media handles to stay updated on current news as regards data protection. Once again, I appreciate every client who believe in Flowless to meet their data protection needs. Thank you and be data protection conscious.